So there's a beautiful story of creation which the mother had said, for those of you who are new to the mother. The story of creation. We have several stories of creation, and this one is something she used to tell the children of the ashram, that when the Supreme decided to become another, earlier there was just the Supreme himself, and he wanted to experience himself and manifest himself. And that is when he created out of his being, his creative power, the Shakti, 4 supreme beings. One was consciousness in light. The second was Ananda. The third was life, Sat, and love. And they went on to create this world, which was to be a world of joy and freedom. But these 4 supreme beings had their own ideas of how this world had to be created. And instead of the earlier status where they were one and working together, when they became 4 separate beings, they became their opposites. So consciousness in light became ignorance and darkness, and Ananda or bliss became suffering, love became hatred, and life or Sat became death. And that is what we call the creation that is there now. The opposite of Satchidananda and Supermind, when they became separate and became opposite of themselves. And the matter that was created was flying in all directions. It had become opposite of the Samam Brahman of Satchidananda, and there was chaos. And this has been brought out in several Upanishads also. And that is when these 4 supreme beings ran to the mother and said, help us, the situation is beyond us. And that's when the mother sent out from herself and from the Purushottama, from the Supreme, the spark of the divine love. And that spark of the divine love is what is the power of unity. And that began to coagulate matter, to bring matter together and become the world as it is. And this Agni, this spark of the divine is Agni, the first avatar that started the ascent, the evolution. And when the 4 beings fell to their opposites, that was involution, the creation of this world. And what they became was opposite of what they started from. So matter and spirit became opposite. But because the spark of the spirit was put there to bring it under control, this spark then began its journey upwards of evolution, we know, from Sri Aurobindo's theory of evolution, which is different from Darwin's theory. Darwin's is more of evolution of forms, but Sri Aurobindo's is evolution of consciousness, which assumes the forms that is required to manifest and express that consciousness. That's the fundamental difference. So from matter, slowly life evolved, and then mind evolved. And mind, Sri Aurobindo says, which is best manifested by human beings, is not the final, ultimate step in evolution. Otherwise, world would not be in such a chaotic state as it is. So we have to evolve into the next level, which he calls the supermind. And that is Sri Aurobindo's contribution to the spiritual history of the world, and we'll touch some of it again. Because when in the Life Divine, Sri Aurobindo says that matter and spirit are so opposite that unless you assume a gradation, you cannot even logically prove that they are one, or that one can evolve into the other. And this is the 7 stages, the 7 gradations of matter, life, mind, supermind, and Satchidananda. This is the 7 stages which connect the matter to the spirit through these gradations.